Alright, so we're going to show you how to start with your tutorial thing.
For Nerds for Democracy
Yeah,
board
Nerds for
game.
Democracy board game.
We're recording this at 9:30 p.m., so we're a little tuckered out. I'm Tom.
I'm Ryan.
Welcome to the game.
Alright, so when you pull this out, you're going to see a plastic bag. Inside, you're going to have your game board. Just going to flip it down. And inside this plastic bag are 4 plastic baggies, each with a deck of cards. So you have your 4 decks. 4. And
Can I give them a little background?
Yeah.
Should we give them a little background on the whole point of the game?
Sure.
So real quick, everybody's a candidate for president. This is a game that has a little bit of Monopoly, a little bit of poker, a little bit of like improvisation. So it's got a little bit of everything.
Yeah.
And each piece starts at the start part of the board, and you kind of go all the way around. First person to finish to the end wins. You get dealt a bunch of cards, which we're going to show you, but that's the general high level. Does that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Alright, so you're going to take out all your decks and make sure you don't mix them up. But if you do, it's not really a problem. They do have the name of which deck they belong to at the top. So we're just going to...
I'll give them a little close up here.
take these out.
Oh, it's like inverted.
Yeah, it's weird.
But basically it says general election major event, so I know that's one type of deck.
Alright.
And in the production version, we'll probably have different colors for these
Yeah.
cards, so people...
This is just like the raw.
You're getting the first pre-production test kit.
Alright, so here I have all 4 of the decks. So the first phase is the primary phase. So you can use anything, but you just use a small object. Here we have 2 Legos. So we're gonna start at the start. Should we? Yeah, so start and move counterclockwise around. Here, just put these guys over there. So the first step is a dealer. One player is selected to be the dealer, and
One quick clarification. Since we start in the primary phase, the general election choice card and major events, you don't need this until we get to the general election phase. So you really, for now, at the beginning of the game, you really only need to worry about 2 decks.
yeah, these 2 decks.
The primary
Major event.
major event and the primary choice cards.
Okay, so what you want to do is you're going to deal around to all
The primary choice cards.
choice cards. It's the bigger deck. Until each player has 3. Then you're going to decide which one you got. And on each card, there's the description of the real life political definition and like how this could affect your attempts to be president, and the super skill, which is like basically your card's ability, and how it can actually influence the game though. So I have 3 here. Just show you guys.
Alright, you may want to read them because it'll be reversed.
3. I have get a personal stylist, debate preparation, and healthcare policy emphasis. For example, the debate preparation card's super skill is have your opponent's time when you're debating them, which is important because we'll cover that later, but debates are important. Yeah, and then I got the personal stylist card. It says this can be used multiple times. Basically, you get an extra vote on your performance when you're debating. So that's pretty important. We'll explain that later when we demo.
So you just pick one of the 3 and you hold one. So that's where it's kind of like poker.
Yeah.
And every round you're gonna get dealt new cards that you can add to make your hand, and you can have a maximum of 5, right, in your hand.
Correct.
So you only allowed to keep 1 from this round. I've got media strategy, national security, and personal stylist. I'm gonna pick national security,
All right.
and then I'm gonna discard
Into a discard pile.
into a discard pile.
So now you can use your phone or no, never mind. You just shuffle these.
Those
and
are the
major
primary major
and
event deck.
Then you draw from the top. So here it says unexpected withdrawal of a major candidate, and you'll see it lists all the things that are affected and how much they are benefited. It's kind of inverse, so it's kind of like weird looking, but looks pretty normal. So, for example, campaign team is +2, fundraising strategy +2, environmental policy +2, economic policy +2, and healthcare policy +2. So basically what that means is anybody with these things move up 2. So we don't have any, but this is expected because we only have 1 card.
So I had national security policy.
Yeah, that was not in this
Not
card.
listed in the major
Neither was
event.
debate prep. So this is normal. So you just discard that. And
So let me just explain it one more time so people know. So these major events, they have beneficiaries. And if you got lucky and in your choice hand, you have something and you match basically like poker, then you get to move your guy or person up some extra spots.
yep.
So, like, as an example, if I had healthcare policy, I would have been able to move +2, and then I would have rolled the dice and go further. But in this case, Ryan and I, neither debate prep nor national security was a beneficiary of the unexpected withdrawal of a candidate.
Which is expected.
So,
Was the first card. So then you would roll a dice. You can get your phone out for this one.
yeah, let's. Not everybody knows how to use the dice feature. Hold on.
Yeah. Clarification. So if I did benefit and I landed like on a trap card or a trap step or a step that has a description, you're not affected by it until after you roll. So just know that.
Yeah, so if we don't have a dice in the test kit, but if you have a 4-sided dice around, it's designed for 4, but
Yeah.
I bet you could do it with a 6-sided dice.
Yeah.
I don't think it'd be the end of the world. Or if you have a phone, you could just go to Google and search for dice, and then it has Google results will have a built-in thing, and you just pick the 4 option, and then it'll, in this case, I rolled a 1. I could roll for Ryan. If he rolled a 1. Why does it keep coming 1? That's so weird.
Well, are you
What the
sure?
hell? That's a bug. Oh, now we got a
Nope,
4.
we just really unlucky.
Okay, so we each rolled a 1, and we rolled and landed on a square that had nothing on it. So now we just...
We do it again. So now we deal. So now basically anything could affect the player. You can use your cards or anything, but we're gonna deal now. So guide
every
us.
round, the dealer deals each player 3 more choice cards.
Yes, and also if you want to activate any super skills, you gotta call it after you roll. Because then you can basically means that you can't just use your supercell whenever. Basically, when it's your turn, you can use them. With like 2 exceptions or something. So I got higher personal trainer, environmental policy emphasis, and media strategy. So, I'm going to pick the narrative media strategy, and this has a narrative trifecta, meaning that if I collect the 2 other cards that are in the narrative trifecta, I can gain 2 extra spaces each turn. So basically, after I roll, I think it applies. So
All right, I got endorsements, hire a trainer, social policy emphasis. So now I'm gonna pick one of these 3, and actually, still have my national security one. So I just need to pick the best 2 and discard 2. So I'm gonna keep national security, and now I'm gonna take social policy. So put that in the discard.
All right, and then we pick a major event.
Yeah. So now what happens is you're hoping that one of your two choice cards gets a hit from this major event.
So the major event is major social movement or protest. That means if you have campaign slogan, you move up 3. Media strategy, I have media strategy, so I move up 1. If you have debate prep, move up 5. I do have debate prep, so I move up 5 as well.
Wow.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Endorsement +2 and social policy emphasis +6.
+6 for me. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Wow, we're tied.
That's
Interesting.
interesting.
Okay.
All right.
Now we roll dice, right?
Yep. You roll the dice.
So I'm going to roll for Ryan. Ryan go up 2. I'm going to roll for me. Tom go up 1.
Oh, okay. So, you landed on the Pentagon Papers. Basically, it says controversy ensnares you. Move back 2 unless you have a national security choice card. If you have national security choice card, move ahead 1.
Yes!
So basically, he does have the national security.
Yes.
And with the exception of crisis management card, you basically have to move back, but he doesn't. He moves up 1 actually.
Yes!
So it's a tight game. All right, so now we deal.
Okay. So I got economic policy, voter outreach, and take a breather. I am going to get economic policy. So now I have national security, social, and economic.
Okay, so I'm going to pick the crisis management plan out of economic policy emphasis and fundraising strategy. The super skill of this is if you land on a trap card, reduce total setbacks by 2. So this can come really clutch. For example, if I landed on the Pentagon Papers, I would not have moved back twice because I would have been put back by 2 by this, which is nice. So I'm going to keep that in case I land on any traps.
Okay,
So
now
now,
major
major
event. Let's go.
High profile endorsement for an opponent. Campaign messaging and slogan, up by 3. Campaign team, up by 2. Fundraising strategy, up by 2. Media strategy. I have media strategy, so I move up 1. And endorsement +4. So,
I didn't get any of those.
unlucky. So, now,
We roll.
roll.
Roll
Should-
for...
Should we, simulate, if you land on a debate, because we might not land on...
Okay. We're now going to simulate... What's the debate
Debate.
one? How many would you roll? You would roll 3?
I rolled a 3. 1, 2, 3, and he rolled a 3 as well. So, I landed on the debate card, meaning debate trap, or whatever you want to call it. But this basically means that I have to debate the person, excluding me, furthest back. This basically allows for people to come back from if they're in a losing position. So, me and him, since we're the only 2 players, but because he's the furthest behind me, would debate, and basically my cards can apply. For example, this super skill means I have his debate time. Basically
Half.
half. He has
Yeah.
half of the debate time. Half. And yeah, so basically we would debate, but instead of having 30 seconds to do his opening statement and then 15 seconds for rebuttal, he would have half that.
All right. Now, usually if you have 3 or more players, the person or the people not debating get to pick the topic. Mm-hmm. Hey, Wendy, can you pick a debate topic for us?
Should U.S. continue to provide weapons to Israel?
Hot topic. Okay. Should the U.S. continue to supply Israel with military aid? And then we would debate, and the other players would, at the end, vote on who they think did the best. Not necessarily if they agree with the opinion, but who debated better. And basically, they would move up by...
Right. So the someone usually not debating
Yeah.
would get out their phone and put a timer. and the person who landed on it gets to go first, and then the other person has to take an opposing position.
Mm-hmm.
And the debate topic could be serious, like this one, or it could be like, oh, what's better on pizza, pepperoni or pineapple?
Or something like
Yeah.
that. Yeah, it could be anything.
So why don't we simulate that? We'll do it real quick. We'll do 30 for you and 15 for me, since
All
it
right,
should
fine.
be 30-30 and then 20-20 rebuttals. But
Yeah.
because you have that thing, you cut my time in half.
Yeah.
So it's 30-15. Ready? Go.
I don't think military aid, any more military aid is a good idea because they already have a lot of military aid and they have already used it a lot on civilians, and I don't believe that we should be spending money on killing civilians, as well as the fact that the amount of Palestinians dead is 40-1 compared to people from Israel. So I don't think that more military aid is necessary.
Okay, that's your 30. And I'm going to do my 15-second rebuttal. And I have to take the opposing position. So we must continue to provide military aid to Israel. They're a strong ally of the United States. They're the only democracy, strongest democracy in the region. And they were attacked on October 7th and deserve to be able to defend themselves. Okay. And then Ryan would do a rebuttal, and then I would do a rebuttal, and then someone else, like Wendy or a third player, would decide. And
vote.
if they decided...
If they agree on the same person or majority votes,
Yeah.
you get the winner gets +2, moves up 2. If they can't agree, both players move up by 1. In this situation, you wouldn't have to debate again. Like that,
Yeah.
you don't debate again.
So, what if there's... if you won, do I move at all? Or
No.
Okay.
The loser does not move.
Okay.
If they can't decide, both won.
All right. So then, basically, that's how this game works. Each round, you get dealt choice cards. You keep them.
You have a max of 5.
Yeah.
By the way, there's really only one exception. So once you have 5, during the end of the game, you can pass when any player passes Final Reckoning. The player in last place has the chance to endorse another player and give them all of their 5 cards. The 5 cards can't be traded out or replaced or anything. They're just there to benefit you from a major offense. It's another important note. When you pass the general election starts card thing, you keep your hand, and you just replace as you go or choose not to replace. But it's generally good to replace because you won't be getting any hits. But yeah, you keep these and then you slowly over time would replace them or not as you go around. Yeah. And it's first player past this or gets to this wins.
Yeah, so once the first player passes this general election starts.
You start drawing from the new phase decks.
Yeah.
So basically, you could keep these, but you start drawing from the general election choice card deck instead and use the
General election major events.
general election major events instead of the primary.
Primary. That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we'll also have a link
Yeah.
to the full
There's
instructions.
more, yeah, like all the possible scenarios there, but that's basically it, yeah. Psycho.
Yeah. Now, if you're watching this, thank you from Ryan and I, because this is something that we and our friend Ram and Brandon, we all worked on together. This is like an early test version.
Yeah.
We will be reaching out to you to hopefully get your feedback, but you can also just email me, tom@nerdsforhumanity.com. Whatever you like, dislike, what you found was confusing, and anybody who gives us feedback, we'll make sure if we make a production version of this game, you'll get a mention in the credits.
As a game tester.
Yes. So we appreciate your help. And let us know if you have any questions or feedback as soon as you can. And hope you have a great game and enjoy it.
Yeah. Alright. See you later.
Bye, nerds.